The Premier League's 2025-2026 season features the biggest stadium transformation in English football history. Manchester United is planning a 100,000-seat giant. Everton has moved to a stunning new waterfront home. And with Leeds, Burnley and Sunderland promoted, the league now boasts over 848,000 seats across 20 incredible stadiums. Let's explore each of these venues that are reshaping English football. I'm James Deverell. Welcome to TFC Stadiums. Old Trafford stands as the Premier League's largest stadium with 74,000 seats, but Manchester United has bigger plans. The club is developing a new £2 billion stadium, targeting 100,000 seats by 2030, which would become the largest in the UK and second largest in Europe. With matchday revenue already among the highest in world football, the new stadium would generate well over £150 million annually from ticket sales alone. Manchester City's Etihad Stadium currently holds 55,000 fans, but a major transformation is underway. The North Stand expansion will boost capacity to over 61,000 by January 2026, with the £300 million project adding premium hospitality areas and entertainment centres. The expanded stadium will help meet demand while potentially increasing matchday revenue to around £80 million per season, cementing the Etihad as one of England's premier football venues. Liverpool's Anfield reached its current 61,000 capacity in 2024 after completing the Anfield Road Stand expansion. Liverpool generates approximately £90 million in annual matchday revenue from the expanded stadium. The club has confirmed no further expansion plans, satisfied that Anfield is now the right size while preserving its famous atmosphere. Chelsea's Stamford Bridge holds just 41,000 fans, making it surprisingly small for a club of their stature. The Blues are actively exploring options to either redevelop their current home or relocate entirely to increase capacity and modernise facilities. Despite the limited capacity, Chelsea still generates substantial matchday income, but they're leaving money on the table compared to rivals with larger venues. The Emirates Stadium currently holds 60,000 fans and generates around £100 million annually for Arsenal. The club is planning to expand to 80,000 capacity by 2028, which would create one of Europe's largest stadiums and significantly increase matchday revenue. Tottenham Stadium holds just under 63,000 fans, and it represents the gold standard for modern football venues. Opened in 2019, it features a retractable pitch, craft brewery, and the longest bar in any UK stadium. Spurs generate over £100 million annually from premium seating and non-matchday events. West Ham's London Stadium accommodates 62,000 fans in the converted 2012 Olympic venue. The transformation from athletics to football cost over £300 million, creating ongoing debates about sightlines and atmosphere. Despite these challenges, West Ham benefits from one of the Premier League's largest capacities at a fraction of typical stadium costs. The club pays just £2.5 million annual rent, allowing them to offer competitive ticket prices while still generating strong matchday revenue. Villa Park has hosted football since 1897 and currently holds around 43,000 fans. Aston Villa's recent success, including Champions League qualification, has created huge demand that the stadium can't handle. The club is currently exploring major redevelopment plans to expand capacity while preserving Villa Park's character. Newcastle's St James's Park holds just over 52,000 passionate Geordies, but major changes could be coming. The club is considering either expanding the current stadium or building a completely new venue at nearby Liège's Park. With Saudi ownership backing bigger ambitions, any expansion could push capacity beyond 65,000 and generate over £100 million annually. Everton's Hill Dickinson Stadium marks the Premier League's newest venue, opening for the 2025 to 2026 season with under 53,000 seats. The £80 million waterfront stadium at Bramley-Moore Dock replaces Goodison Park after 133 years. The South Stand alone holds 13,000 fans, creating an intimidating wall of noise. Early projections suggest matchday revenue could reach £75 million annually. Wolves' Molineux Stadium holds under 32,000 fans and represents one of English football's most traditional venues. Despite selling out regularly during successful seasons, Wolves have chosen to invest in their squad rather than stadium infrastructure. The intimate city centre location creates an atmosphere that many fans prefer over megastadiums. The Amex Stadium opened in 2011 with under 32,000 seats that perfectly suit Brighton's philosophy. Rather than expanding despite Premier League's success, the club prioritises packed crowds over empty seats. This sustainable approach generates around £25 million annually. Selhurst Park holds just over 25,000 fans in one of the Premier League's most traditional settings. The modest South London ground creates an intimidating atmosphere that punches above its weight. While their passionate fans ensure strong attendance, the club's £13.8 million annual matchday revenue lags behind bigger venues. Crystal Palace has discussed expansion for years, but keeps running into planning and funding problems. Fulham's Craven Cottage sits beautifully beside the Thames with 25,000 seats. While the historic riverside location prevents major expansion, the cottage generates respectable matchday revenue through premium pricing and hospitality offerings. The club has embraced their boutique stadium experience rather than chasing capacity, creating one of England's most unique matchday atmospheres. Leeds United is back in the Premier League with Ellen Road holding around 37,000 fans, but major expansion is coming. Plans submitted in July 2025 would boost capacity to 53,000, with construction potentially starting in September. This could increase matchday revenue from £30 million to over £50 million annually, giving Leeds serious financial power to compete with established Premier League clubs. Sunderland brings the 48,000-seat Stadium of Light back to the Premier League after their promotion playoff victory. The club has invested millions in facilities, adding safe standing, new floodlights, and 5G connectivity. Sunderland's massive North-East fan base ensures strong attendance, with matchday revenue projected around £40 million as they return to the top flight. Nottingham Forest's City Ground holds 30,000 fans on the banks of the River Trent. Despite their recent Premier League stability, Forest hasn't invested in stadium expansion or upgrades yet. While matchday revenue can't compete with larger stadiums, the passionate support makes the ground feel twice its actual size. Brentford's G-Tech Community Stadium opened in 2020 with just 17,000 seats, making it the Premier League's second smallest venue. The stadium includes standing areas and shares facilities with London Irish Rugby. Despite the small capacity, Brentford generates competitive revenue per seat while maintaining their community club feel. Burnley earned their Premier League return with a dominant 100-point championship campaign, bringing Turf Moor's 22,000 capacity back to the top flight. The stadium dates to 1883, making it one of football's oldest venues, but its modest size could restrict revenue growth unless expansion plans to 25,000 capacity move forward. Bournemouth's Vitality Stadium holds just 11,000 fans, making it the Premier League's smallest venue. The club plans to expand to potentially up to 23,000 seats, using a creative dig-down method that won't require closing the stadium. Current revenue of £15 million annually could double, while preserving their famous intimate atmosphere. The 2025 to 2026 Premier League season shows English football changing dramatically. 20 stadiums now hold over 848,000 fans total, ranging from Bournemouth's tiny 11,000-seat Vitality to Manchester United's planned 100,000-seat monster. With Leeds planning major expansion, Burnley considering growth, and Sunderland having modernised their facilities, the Premier League stadium revolution is just getting started.